Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another one of our weekly guided reflection sessions where we're going to take about 40 to 50 minutes out of our day. We're going to set time aside to just think more about our life, just to ask more questions that are simple, but through answering them, we'll be able to, moving forward, be more precise in the actions we want to take for the trajectory we want to go in our lives. So this is kind of a special edition. I thought it'd be fun if we just build a campfire during the session, so then it's more intimate. We're all around a campfire. We're just thinking about life, asking questions. It'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to take 5 minutes to just breathe. And then when we come back, I'll start the fire and we can start writing and start thinking. It's going to be a beautiful time. We love summer, don't we? So let's begin by just setting a timer for 5 minutes. We're outside on the farm. Under some oak trees. It's pretty great. 5 minutes. Ready, go. And we're just breathing in and out. We don't have to think about anything. If something does come up, just let it pass. It's not important right now. So we're just breathing. All right, so that was 5 minutes. I'm going to set a timer here. I'm not wearing a watch right now, so I'm going to set a timer just in case we're having so much fun and I just forget to lose track of time. Forget to track time. Okay, so let's start off with the question we always ask ourselves, and that's, what are we grateful for? There's so many things to be grateful for. The world is beautiful. You're beautiful. I'm beautiful. We're all beautiful. I'll write these down so it's easier for me to write the description later. What are we grateful for? All right, I'm going to start this fire while you guys are thinking and writing about what we're grateful for. This will be a little easier if I wear this flannel to hold a microphone. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate while we're reflecting on life of how to build a campfire. Now, I've been experimenting this summer with the variations. So like a teepee or a log cabin. I've been doing the log cabin a lot more. I've always been a teepee kind of guy. But I have found so far in my experimenting that the log cabins are easier to start, but the teepee campfires are just more like better fundamentals, I would say. Like it has a stronger foundation, so then it lasts longer, and you can more easily put logs on and retain like the essence of a big fire. The log cabins, I haven't had great success in maintaining a relatively large fire. So what I did here, we're gonna do the log cabin type. So I made just like a square with twigs, right? So we got twigs here, and then we have some wood. Now, it won't take us long to start out. So I have a newspaper here, and this is kind of the front page. So we have, not too much. I don't think we need too much to start it. So I'm gonna have them in kind of balls here, crumpling them up. If you're listening, I'm sure this is great for audio. And just gonna build up the walls a little bit more on this cabin. For the second question, when you're done thinking about what you're grateful for, although we can never be done, truly, of what we are grateful for, the next question is, like, what's a space or an event or an activity where you find you're able to really bond with other people? Like for me, I love just having a campfire with friends, family, and you can just sit there and just talk with each other, be with each other. There's this, I don't know, just very primal kind of thing of just being with other humans around something so fundamental as the element of fire. And you can bond. It helps build bonds. I'm all about campfires. All right, so we lit it over here. We'll light it again over here. All right, so we got it started a little bit. And again, we have twigs kind of for walls. Now we're thinking about that question, right? Like, what's something we really enjoy that brings us closer together with other humans? See, now I'm going to lay it on top. I set a layer of twigs across the walls. And once this gets going, I'm going to add the logs. Yeah, so get that going a little bit. Now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, just audio, can you hear the fire kind of sizzling a little bit, crackling? That's nice. It's starting to die out a little bit. That was my bad. I probably should have been a little better about that. So I'm going to add just a little bit more paper, get it going again. And then right away I'm going to put some logs on the outside. Our phone dropped into the pit, of course. Our microphone. That's the thing about some of these pockets. A little loose. There we go. So now this is kind of, from here on out, we got a pretty good structure going. And what I'll kind of do too, after we put the first kind of set of logs on, is I'll put twigs over the fire because they're supported by the logs. So more of these like twigs, small stuff, just to kind of keep it going, get it hot. We like it hot. And we can, actually we'll wait a little bit to put logs on more. Yeah, this is great, right? Fire. I love fire. Isn't it great? So his third question to think about is, what are some outdoor skills? What's one outdoor skill you've developed in your life? For example, I've gotten pretty good at building campfires pretty quickly. It's a good outdoor skill, you know? So what's something that you're good at? Or, you know, if you feel you aren't proficient in an outdoor skill already, like what's something you'd be interested in developing? You could even draw it out a little bit more and like a survival skill. Starting fires, great survival skill. I should try moving forward to try to light them without like a lighter. Use something very primal. Yeah, it is. It is a little warm, so I think I'm gonna actually take this off. I think now I'll put a couple more logs on. See, what I've observed with this log cabin is the inside gets a little hollow too quickly. So then you just have this like outer rim that's burning. Whereas the teepee, it's more condensed. So it's interesting. I've just been experimenting. Like, yeah, the log cabin's really easy to start, I will say. The teepee is a little bit more complex, in my opinion, but yeah, earlier today, we were in the woods, some chainsaws, cutting down trees that fell over from storms on the path. That was fun. Chainsaws are fun. Yeah, she's going now. Yeah, so now it's just us hanging out at the campfire, right? How's this feel? Are you guys feeling the bonding opportunity around a fire? The next question. This one is pretty like a more serious, a more penetrating question, and that is, what would you do if you could not fail? So what would we do if we knew we couldn't fail? Take some time to think about that. Write about that. It's a pivotal question in life. Like, if you're able to answer that, you kind of know, the direction you should be going in then. Right? So what is something in life where if we were fearless, we could go out and we wouldn't fail? Like, really think about that. What would that be for you? And don't hold back with your imagination or your ambition or anything. Just take the time to think about your life, because we only have one shot at life. We have one shot. So what would we do if we were fearless and we knew we couldn't fail? What would we do? This would be a fun, live event, wouldn't it? We have chairs or tree stumps. We're all just sitting around a fire, just thinking about our lives over some fire in nature. You can hear the birds. What would we do if we knew we couldn't fail? It's a big question, so take your time with it. It's probably the most important question you'll ask yourself this entire month. No pressure. Ooh, no pressure with this. See, the log cabin, you got to watch the balance of it. That's the thing. Let's get rid of some of the smaller stuff. Put it in the incinerator. Yeah, there'll be some storms that roll through, and you'll have a bunch of tree branches in the yard, and you just pick them up, snap them, make yourself a great campfire. Let's give ourselves just a little bit more time for that question, because, again, it is a big question, and I think it's important for you to be thoughtful with it, intentional. Take a moment. you might not be able to answer it. And right there is your answer. Is maybe in life you haven't thought about that totality of life yet, of what do I really want to do during my time on planet Earth? There's so many different ways to live life. We're just having a conversation right before this, but right before the fire, of I've done 15 days no caffeine. And so I'm like halfway done of the 30-day no caffeine challenge that I've given myself. And mornings, I don't really need coffee anymore. I've found that like supplementing no caffeine with exercise and being in nature has been really beneficial. I think that's really good. And so the question was, so are you going to drink coffee again, or have you thought about what you're going to do in, the next 2 weeks when you finish? And I'm going to have coffee again, but I'm going to be a lot more intentional with it. And probably not need it right, or probably not use it right away in the morning, but more so like when I'm trying to do like thoughtful, kind of really mentally, just when I need some like mental stimulation. So more like writing or just getting kind of some business items taken care of. And just like need to, but I'm probably gonna create a specific amount per week and just kind of cap it at that. Use it more as a treat, and specifically like almost medicine or like as a drug to get things done, or almost like a prescription in a way, instead of using caffeine, coffee, like all day, kind of every day in life. Like just be more intentional with it. And I don't think I'm not about zero. And we're talking about moderation, and it's important. What I find with just talking with people, everybody has different bad habits they have, different things, like it's up to you how you want to live life. You have to figure out you have to ask yourself, what do I want? How do I want to live my life? And live it that way. And I think a great starting point or a great barometer is just moderation. Like things in moderation. Don't indulge too much on anything, but also you don't have to be zeros. Like kind of be like abstaining from things either. So it's like just being thoughtful. Think about what you enjoy and live your life that way. Determine how you want to live rather than comparing yourself to how other people live. So let's kind of wrap this into a question. Now I'm thinking about the question. Dramatic pause. This might be an easier question to answer. I want you to think of three different people of how you not want to live. So think of three people whose life you don't really want to live that way. And maybe evaluate that. Yeah, see what I'm saying? It gets a little hollowed out right there, the fire. Now you can think of diet, you can think of exercise, you can think of line of work, you can think of relationships, you can think of where you want to live, what activities you want to be doing. You know, it's kind of like if I ask it that way, it's kind of endless. You know, hey, here's a question for you. How do you want to live your life? That's very extensive and would take a lot of time to answer. So just think of like three examples of people who you don't want to live like. Or aspects about them that you don't want to live. Like, for me, I'm thinking about, in regards to YouTube, like, I'm one of the more, like, high achiever types of persons. And so I'll see these YouTube channels that are kind of all about that, but they become very robotic. That's the thing. Is sure, you can, for example, never consume caffeine because of all these things and all those things. But you got to live your life. You know? Decide how you want to live your life and live it that way. That's the best. Yeah, it's about finding what's right for you. So we'll give that a little bit more time to think about whether you're writing or typing or thinking. Ooh, it's almost like a Jenga. It's a little slanted, yeah. Not the best fire I've made. That fire's going. The fire's going, baby. Smells so amazing. Just burning wood. Now let's think about what's something we need to stop doing. I think this is a valuable question. A lot of times we want to just add more to our lives. You know, we want to take on more responsibilities, more this, more that, but being honest with ourselves, what's something we need to stop doing? And this probably won't take you long. I'm sure there's something that, you know, subconsciously or very lightly, consciously, we think about when we're doing it. We're like, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it. You know, what's something like that for you that we need to stop doing this? We need to address this. Yeah, it's a cute little fire we got, right? Took a weed whacker to some weeds under this oak tree because they were just creeping closer to the fire pit. See, now it's kind of like a little oven or furnace we have going on. That's what's kind of cool about the log cabin campfire setup. Because it takes a longer while to get the sides, like the walls with the logs. The issue with that, though, is it will just burn like half the log, and then you're kind of stuck with these logs at the end. And then there'll be a certain point where it'll just collapse. And you're like, oh, I'd be better off if I made a teepee campfire. Yeah, these sticks are starting to pick up the... This is a nice club-sized stick. The next question, I want you to think back to your childhood. What were the typical adventures you would go on when you're imagining or playing? What were the adventures you guys would go on? You know, it can kind of weave into like games you would play as a kid, using your imagination. Imagination. That's really the limit, is imagination. When it comes to really anything, imagination is what the limit is. It's something a lot of people won't discuss or tell you. Is that there are very few limits of like what you can do in life. The surest limit is your imagination. So when you were thinking and answering the question before of what would we do if we were fearless and we could not fail? You're limited by your imagination. You know, how far did you let your imagination go on that question? You know, imagination. Kids have so much of it. It's amazing. Everything can be fun. Everything can be turned into a game. Every moment can be full of joy. It's beautiful. Yeah, just broing out by the campfire. Great night, great evening, right? Yeah, it's a cute little fire we have. What's something we believe about ourselves? What's something we believe about ourselves to be absolutely true? Really grateful that the wind, there's not a lot of wind right now. You see how the smoke is kind of going almost straight up. You know, it's west over here, so it's the west, it's kind of coming in, but it's fairly straight up. It's not blown around in all different directions. It's quite peaceful. So we have a very peaceful night, peaceful fire. Yeah, I can just sit around here for hours, just watch the fire, just keep putting wood on. Yeah, this would be a good in-person event. Just do a weekly guided reflection session. Everybody in chairs or tree stumps around a fire. I like that. I would like that. Not too hot tonight. Pretty nice. Just real peaceful. Real peaceful. And lastly, to close out, because we're coming up on time, the timer I set. What's something we're curious about? It's always a favorite question to ask. What are we curious about right now? What's on our mind? Let's go with that. What's on our mind right now? What is weighing the heaviest? What thing on our mind is occupying the most space, the most real estate on our mind? Yeah. So so this has been an experiment with doing a weekly guided reflection session around a campfire. Let me know if you liked this, enjoyed it, if we should do more. I'm always down to start a fire. But thanks for being here. This is really important that you take time out of your own life to think about your life, check in with yourself, answer some simple questions about your life so that you can really be more clear in the actions you take moving forward. Because you can take a lot of actions in your life that don't lead you towards where you want to be going. We can really keep ourselves busy with actions, but it's important to do the right actions that will lead up to something more grand, something beautiful that we imagine and aspire for. So thank you for that. We'll see you next week.